Can we have your attention, please? And welcome to the June 3rd, 2019 Planning Board meeting. Tonight we do have three matters on the agenda. The first matter is a site plan and a special permit for 48, 58, and 66 Townsend Ave, and 800.1 and 810 Varnum Ave. An application submitted by Attorney John Cox Esquire on behalf of the Khmer Buddhist Monks, Inc. for special permit and a site plan for approval under section 7.11.4 and under section 7.6. The applicant is proposing to construct an approximately 16,800 square foot religious temple at the above address with 274 parking spaces, landscaping, stormwater management, and utility improvements. The project includes relief for the construction of a driveway longer than 200 feet. The subject property is located in the suburban single-family zoning district. May we hear from the applicant, please?
Good evening, Chairman Linehan, gentlemen. My name is Attorney John Cox, 375 Gorham Street, Lowell, Massachusetts. I represent the Khmer Buddhist Monks, Inc. You may recall a few weeks ago we were before you to begin the public hearing. The board members requested various information, which we've been trying to put together since. We've been unsuccessful in completing all of that yet, and so we would ask that the matter be continued until July 15th, your meeting on July 15th. We're hopeful and somewhat confident that by then we will have the information that you're looking for, that we can make a full presentation and finalize our presentation to the board. So hopefully you'll look on that favorably, and any questions, I'm sure I'm here to try to answer them.
Thank you, Counsel. Any of the board members have an objection to continuance?
Mr. Chairman, I just have one question. Attorney Cox, do you know if you'll have gone before conservation before you come back to us on July 15th? Because that's...
I don't know that. I know that we're hopeful of that, and I know that since we were here the last time, there was a Conservation Commission meeting scheduled. We asked for continuance on that,
right,
basically for a lot of the same information from MIPA, Army Corps, DEP. Most of those issues do deal with conservation. So I'd like to give you a firm answer there, Mr. Frechette, but I'm not, because we rely on those other agencies for information. We're hopeful of that, and that's why we're hoping to extend it out for a month and a half, but you've been around this business a lot longer than I have, so.
All right, no, because I know for myself, it will be, that's a critical component to, I feel, in us making our final decision.
Yep.
So I certainly would feel better for a project such as that in that particular area with the flooding, as you're aware of, that when you would present a final proposal to us that would have already gotten the orders of conditions and approval from conservation.
From your lips to God's ears.
I hear. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion to continue the matter until the July 15th meeting.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Good luck,
Hope you get to
Counsel.
see the Bruins game tonight.
Yep, thank you. Good luck. Next matter, we have a site plan review, 157 Burka Street. An application was submitted by Chloe LLC for site plan review of the project located at the above address. The applicant is proposing to construct 3 residential townhouses on this subject property. The existing site has a single-family structure which will remain. The subject property is located in the suburban multifamily zoning district. We did receive a letter today requesting a continuance from the engineer on the matter, Matt Hammer, indicated that they need more time to bring some of the conditions that the board was asking questions on for last time, so he's requesting a continuance to June 17th. Any board members have any questions on?
I'll make a motion to delay it. I'll second that.
All right, so the motion been made by Bob and second by Dick to continue to 6/17. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, on both of these, or maybe this should be directed to staff, have the applicants, signed any extensions required?
Yeah, I believe the previous petition is already at that threshold where they will have had to sign to agree that, they're waiving that statutory requirement. because they've requested the continuances, and we'll make sure that,
And the second one, I don't think
I don't think it's at that point
no, it's
yet.
not that point yet, it hasn't been filed long enough. Well, the other one has been filed so far in advance, we needed a couple of continued. Fine,
right.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. So,
Just a procedural question.
sure, no problem. So moving along on the agenda, we have a site plan.
Mr. Chairman, I don't believe we took a vote on it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
They second.
to continue it, Bob made the motion, Dick seconded it. And what's the request from the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, okay, so that motion carries. Thank you. Okay, then, moving along in the site plan review, we have 181 Stedman Street. An application was submitted by Pure Industries, Inc., seeking site plan review approval to open a marijuana cultivation facility at the above address. The building is in the light industrial manufacturing and storage zone, and needs site plan review approval from the planning board under section 7.10 and 11.4. May we hear from the applicant, please?
Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Andrew Statiris, and along with my business partners Todd Brady and Jim Statiris here, are representing Pure Industries. As you know, we received a host community agreement from the city of Lowell back end of last summer, and we've been working with builders, engineers, getting through the state application process. And we're here to hopefully take the next step towards opening up what will one day be a thriving business here in Lowell. We plan to be working tirelessly, within the community. We want to be here long-term, and we're here to open up the lines of communication and answer any questions you might have about our business and our building and what we have planned going forward.
Anything else you want to add, or is anybody else with you wants to speak?
At this point, I can speak on behalf of why we think we're a good team here to be represented in Lowell. We've got a lot of experience in this business. Todd, for the past 7 years, has operated a cannabis fertilization company nationwide. He has supplied, manufactured, distributed fertilizers to grow houses and cultivation facilities throughout the country. 2 years ago, he, in addition, opened up a similar style to what we are hoping to do here, facility out in Denver, about 10,000 square feet, where they are growing high-end cannabis and selling it out there. Jim and I, our experience is in the retail business, restaurants down in Boston, as well as real estate development. We kind of feel like our strengths play off of each other and are perfect for this type of business here in Lowell. We're all live locally within a half an hour of here. Maybe today it was a little longer with the traffic, but it's something that we've really targeted Lowell, and we are excited. We're here with our landlords. We're here with our traffic engineer. We are, working through this application and really want to make sure that we're doing things right within the community and answering any questions and concerns that you guys might have.
Thank you.
Yep.
Nobody else from your team wants to speak?
At this point, no, we're all prepared to answer
Okay.
different levels of questions, so.
At this point in time, I'll turn it over to the public. Anybody here this evening want to speak in favor of this project? Yeah, just come to the microphone, give us your name and address, please, sir. Thank you.
My name is Jeremy Field, 58 Varney Point Road, left, Guilford, New Hampshire. I own the industrial building on Stedman Street. I've had a business in Lowell for over 50 years. We've looked for a tenant, and we've had many people in this industry apply for space to do it in our building, and this is the best group we've had apply, the most experience, and we're definitely in favor.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else like to speak in favor? Anybody else? Anyone else? Anyone else? Anybody like to speak in opposition? In opposition? In opposition? In opposition? Hearing none, I'll turn it over to any comments or questions the board may have.
I have one, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Regarding the odor prevention and ventilation plan, could you just step through that? I mean, I read it all, it seems all in place, but it's an important issue we've learned, and we'd appreciate if you could go through that, please.
Sure thing. My name is Todd Brady. I have extensive experience in the cannabis space as well as operate an existing cultivation facility in Aurora, Colorado, which is licensed by the state of Colorado and the city. Odor in these facilities is one of the most important things that we dealt with from an engineering perspective and from a planning standpoint. We have built the facility to be able to manage and minimize any potential odors that are going to go into the area. We know from Pat, there's been, one of our neighbors has, submitted a letter that says, we want to make sure that there is a sufficient odor plan to make sure that it doesn't impede any businesses down the street or any neighbors. From an engineering perspective, we believe we have 99% plus total odor control within the facility. In the HVAC system, we have plasma filters, which are going to not only scrub the air, but kill any odors that go through the system. In all of the cultivation rooms, any room where there's going to be unprocessed cannabis and unpackaged cannabis, there's going to be carbon filters, and those carbon filters are going to constantly scrub the air and to remove any odors within the facility. In addition to that, we built the facility, or have planned to build the facility, with sealed rooms, so there's not going to be exhaust that's going from inside the cultivation rooms out to the outside, which would in turn take those odors into the general air outside the building. So we feel that in addition, will reduce the odor potential. In addition to that, we have all of our walls are going to be sealed walls from a moisture and an air perspective, so they're not going to be permeable to odors are not going to be going through the walls or out the ceiling to adjacent units, as well as to neighbors adjacent buildings. And we, from my perspective, we operate an existing facility that has a very stringent odor requirement in Aurora, Colorado. They have an ordinance for it, and we've met all of those ordinance requirements and had no issues from an odor perspective.
So you're contracting all this work out to a local company, or is it?
Correct. So we're working with a local contractor, as well as engineers on the HVAC side, as well as electrical and plumbing, et cetera.
Yeah. All right.
And I know in our application, we had a letter in addition to the longer odor mitigation plan. We have a kind of a letter from our engineers stating that they feel comfortable with the odor systems and equipment within the facility to manage the potential odor issues.
Okay, that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Speaking of that, I have been handed a letter that it says it was addressed to the Lowell Planning Board. Dear Mr. Linehan, with respect to your letter regarding the hearing on June 3rd, the Pure Industries request to cultivate marijuana at the facility. We would request an odor requirement be placed on the facility. Cultivation of marijuana produces opposite odors, and this would be my main concern, only objection. How is the business prepared to handle the strong odors? Thank you, and this is John Moran, Managing Partner, Moran Realty. Okay. Any other board members? Mr. Snetsky?
Yes, thank you for the additional clarification that, outlined that you provided. This has been, something that with any of the applicants we've had for marijuana cultivation, this has been the most important issue that, I've been concerned about. And I think that, none of us are engineers here. We're not in a position to say yay or nay in terms of the validity of this, and I'm not questioning that it isn't valid. So, as we've done with other applicants, we would like to, I would propose that we incorporate that narrative regarding the odor mitigation into our approval, and that prior to issuance of a building permit, the applicant will submit a certified HVAC odor mitigation plan with documentation certifying that the plans match the narrative,
Sure thing.
with the building permit. And this is consistent with what we've done with all the, cultivation facilities that have come before us. And I think, I know that the Cannabis Control Commission is still developing regulations, so, it's kind of a cart before the horse, but, I know you'll have to meet those as well, so that would be my only concern there, and I would, offer that as a condition of our approval. One other, just in terms of a question, I, went over and viewed your site, and I noticed that the unit that's designated as Unit 14 has a number of exterior doors on both sides. Will you be keeping all of those, or will you be closing some of those off?
So most of those will be closed. We'll have 3 entrance and potential exits. One will be the front door. One will be on the back side of the unit as a secondary egress, as well as we're going to keep one of the roll-up doors, which we're going to have removable bollards that are outside of that door to manage deliveries kind of in and out of the facility. Other than that, the rest of the roll-up doors and enter and exit doors will be cinder blocked up to maintain a consistent look within the building.
Okay, like you say, I wasn't concerned about that, I was just wondering, if that would add, I know that the police department has endorsed your, security plan, but I just, was curious whether that was part of it. Those are my only questions, thank you.
Thank you.
Bob?
Yeah, I have two questions concerning waste material, both dumpster and the biological waste from the plants. How is that being handled? I didn't notice the dumpster location on the plan.
So the plan is to have the dumpster held inside the building, inside that roll-up door, and then on trash days, move it out for trash to be picked up and removed. So we're not going to have a dumpster that sits outside of the facility, so everything will be self-contained. When it comes to the plant material, we will be working with a local composting company who will be taking that material out, and it'll be blended in a 50-50 mix of plant material with kind of other soil. So it's indistinguishable material on exit of the building.
That's fine, thank you.
Mr. Fischett?
Mr. Chairman, on that point, though, I think the staff letter, and looking at the plan, shows an existing dumpster in the southeast corner, I believe. And this is a time it's a site plan review, it's a time to kind of clean that up. Our existing ordinance requires that be screened and fenced in, so it looks a little better.
Sure thing. So that dumpster services, additional units of the building, but we can have that taken care of.
But it's a site plan for the entire
absolutely.
site, so now would be the time to address that. So we would be looking to make that a condition for that dumpster. Any dumpster on the site should be screened as accordance to the ordinance. Looking at the staff letter, looking at your application and the ordinance, as other board members had indicated, we have the letter from the police department signing off on the security plan. We have city's traffic engineer basically acknowledging the fact that the traffic impact would be minimal. One question, really from the staff letter, is could you go over a little bit about the frequency and timing of deliveries and how that'll take place on the site?
Sure thing. So our expectation is to have no more than one delivery per week from a supply perspective. And those will be in probably 28-foot trucks. We're not going to have 53-foot trucks that come into the location, and all of our suppliers have already been notified of that. We'll have waste management come twice a week to pick up trash, and then we'll have roughly 1 time a week a composting company that comes and picks up the composted material. So, our estimation is no more than 5 deliveries a week from a truck standpoint.
And just, in viewing the site and walking around there, at least for a cultivation facility, that is really, I think, what the city had in mind, being located in a building such as that, and in a location like that. That really, granted, we want to be respectful of the other businesses there, but you don't have any conflicts of any residential development anywhere around there, and it really is for this type of facility. It's really what we had in mind in targeting those zones. So I think that certainly is appropriate from that perspective. The parking, it looks like you exceed the minimum parking requirement as well. Again, the concern, it's written in our own ordinance and expressed by all of the other members here as well, is the odor. It's something that's still a little elusive. We'll see when all of these facilities are up and running, in that hopefully the technology is going to accomplish what it intends to by not even minimizing the odor, but really eliminating any kind of external odor. To Mr. Sinensky's point, certainly we would be looking to condition that, understanding that even the State Cannabis Control Commission still hasn't set the standards at this point. So.
Okay. And on the question on having an engineer sign off on that, would that be our engineer, or is that going to be someone whose reviews this from the city?
Well, I think the way we've said it before is that the applicant shall submit the odor mitigation plan with documentation certifying that the plans match the odor mitigation narrative. So I would say if you have a certified engineer or HVAC engineer, provide that. And I think that, that would fall within the purview of the building department, but that would be a certified engineering plan for the odor mitigation system.
Great, we can do that.
I think would suffice, is the way I interpret it.
Yeah, the intent was to at least ensure what's being represented in the plan is in fact what has been put in place. And I think we had also deferred to, this the copy, but complying with the state regulations as well. I believe we had that injected in there, right?
Yeah, it should be.
So, all right, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Caleb, any questions, comments?
Yes. I concur with the rest of the board about the attention needed to pay for the odor mitigation. I think that's the biggest concern, as iterated in the neighbor's letter, as well as our experience dealing with other cultivation applicants. And also want to just mention one remaining request raised in the staff comments is the regional wastewater utility. We need you to provide a utility plan, drainage plan, stormwater management plan for the proposed site, so that they can then evaluate and give the comments. We will need that before we can proceed on that.
Yep, and I think, and Ken's here who has dealt with the kind of engineering side of the site work, and I believe we have that almost finished at this point, or it has been finished and submitted, or soon to be submitted.
Yeah, I know one development that occurred just today was we got confirmation that it's actually a leaching basin, which the wastewater department was actually happy to hear that there's current infiltration on the site. So I think that they'd be happy to just hear that they'll be cleaning the catch basins and maintain it for the future.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anything further? No? Yeah.
I have one additional question on the memo from Patrick dated May 29th. Under comments 1B, it states that the fire department has received the application materials, period. Then in italics, it's fire department access must be maintained at all times and all applicable codes and standards. Fire and life safety will need to be met for this occupancy type and operation within this existing building. Do we have confirmation from the fire department that this plan has been approved?
Yeah, that was kind of their way of approving it, that it's right now.
Oh, all right.
They have
yeah,
access
the way I
and
read
it just shall be maintained as such.
Okay. And one other thing, it wasn't really clear to me, you taking this whole building? Are you
No.
going to occupy this whole building or just in the middle portion of it or something?
Just the middle portion, so we'll be taking roughly a little under 15,000 square feet of the building.
All right, that's
Total
what I
space
thought.
is 45,000.
All right, are you displacing any existing businesses when you're doing that?
We are not, so it's the 14,763 square feet is currently empty.
Okay. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Hey, one
Sure,
question.
go ahead, Bob.
On the parking, are those spaces striped and meet the city code?
They're currently striped, yes.
Okay.
Anybody else have any further comments? No?
No.
I don't have any. I think basically we, all the comments that were given to us by staff, we covered. Unless, Patrick, do you have anything further to add besides what you addressed to us, which I very appreciate?
No, that's all.
Okay, so I have no comments. So what's the wish of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the site plan with the following conditions. First, that the narrative regarding the odor mitigation is accepted, and prior to issuance of the building permit, the applicant shall submit a certified HVAC odor mitigation plan with documentation certifying that the plans match the odor mitigation narrative as accepted by the board, and the applicant shall comply with state Cannabis Control Commission regulations relative to odor mitigation. Second, that the existing dumpster on the site be screened in accordance with the existing city ordinance, and that the applicant shall comply with the requests from Lowell Regional Wastewater Utility, and that the applicant shall maintain fire access at all times, and all applicable codes and standards will need to be met for this occupancy type in operation within the existing building.
Yeah, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Any opposition? And the chair votes in favor. So the motion's carried. So good luck and wish you well.
Thank you very much, we appreciate it.
Very much. Okay, moving along on the agenda, do we have any other notices from any other board members?
Just the historic board, we're continuing to work with National Grid on the building up on the corner of Rock and Skull Street, their application for demolition, and we'll be discussing that on June 10th, a week from tonight.
Thank you. Any other board members have comments? Okay, under other business, it's come to my attention that our board member, Jordan Guys, is resigning from the board as of tomorrow. So I want to wish Jordan the best and thank you very much for his dedication and his time to the city and being on the planning board. He sent a letter and he met with Christine last week indicating that his time restraint was trying to come in from Boston back and forth on the train to try to make meetings, and all the time that's required to put into the board, not just attending the meetings, but preparing for all the meetings and some of the other city boards proposals that he's been on to do for the time consuming, but most importantly, we're getting in out of Boston. He had a hard time getting here, so on behalf of the city, on behalf of the planning board, I wish Jordan the best and thank him for his service. So anybody else have anything further to add or anything further from staff, Patrick?
Not too much. We have 2 items for next week. 153 Westford Street, and then,
Oh, yeah.
which is actually like a resubmittal from
yeah,
a
that's-
project
yeah.
a couple of years back, and then, actually it was one of my first projects when I started, and then the 157 Billerica Street continuance, and then the following meeting in July will be the Townsend Ave. So far.
I just want to tell everybody I won't be here on the next meeting on the 17th.
June 17th, okay.
I'll be out of town.
Anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So, we got so moves, and we have so seconds? Okay, motion made, motion second, all in favor?
Let's go, bro.
Wow. We have adjourned. Good night, thank you, everyone.
How many growing facilities is that?